Shalom, everybody. Baruch Hashem. We have another class now about bringing the Gula Shlema, the complete redemption. Mitzvah Hashem, by us learning this, we should already see in actuality. Start off with a nigun, Yechi. Yechi Adonenu, Areinu V'Rabbeinu, Melech HaMashiach Li'elam V'ad. When we're saying Yechi, what we're doing is you have to imagine, like the good way to imagine it is, let's say you're at the Havdil, to make it a separation. Let's say you're in a football stadium, and the guy's running down the field with the football, and everybody's yelling, "Go, go, go, go!" And the more energy people yell, there's thousands of people, and the person running has this extra power and goes through the touchdown. Same thing we have to think about, that by Yechi we give the Rebbe the koyach to bring the Gula Shlema, to take the whole world and bring it. So we should sing it with a lot of chayas, and then we become an integral part of bringing the Gula Shlema. Yechi Adonenu Mareinu V'Rabbeinu, Melech HaMashiach Li'elam V'ad. Yechi Adonenu Mareinu V'Rabbeinu, Melech HaMashiach Li'elam V'ad. Yechi, 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 Yechi. Diddy ya 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 ha ya ya ha ya 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 hey. Diddy ya 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 hey. Ah ya ya ya. So we're continuing on with the Sikha, talking about that there's a level that you serve Hashem from above to below, and then from below to above, and then from above to below. And the above to below, they're talking about the level, how we're enclosed, that the soul becomes enclosed in the body, and have to work from below up, and working on ourselves to become better people, and our negative traits, and working to become more refined, and then to do just more good stuff, and not to be lazy. And then there's the level that we have this divine soul that comes from above down, and that also that we have to use that, have to realize how special we are, and that we're part of Hashem, and that we're all part of God Himself, and do our service. Even though we have to change from below, we include that in our service. And the Rebbe said before that this level, as we're going to explain in more detail, that's only through the lowest level, which is the body, that the soul, which is already part of God Himself, reaches a higher level. It reaches the essence. It reaches in beyond what it was before, when it was one with Hashem, into more level. Al pi anal is verstandig. And according to the above, and accordingly to, now we're on number 8. I'm sorry, on page 75. So it says there, and according to the above explained, what's explained above, it is understood that the content of the accounting and the service of the month of Elul, as expressed in the acronym Ani L'Dodi B'Dodi Li, I'm for my beloved and my beloved is for me, is comprised of 3 aspects of service. The first one is Ani L'Dodi, I'm for my beloved. The second one is B'Dodi Li, my beloved is for me. And the third one is a combination of both of them. They're all in one word, the word of the month of Elul. Elul has included both. As we said before, the letters in Hebrew, the words of Elul are the first letters of Ani L'Dodi B'Dodi Li, I'm my beloved is for me. I am for my beloved is the service of refining the lowest realms of the body from below to above, from easy to hard, which although through this a person attains the revelation of my beloved, it's in other words that you're working on yourself, that you become a better human being, and that you don't think things you shouldn't, like in davening. You're instead of thinking this thing or that thing, you just realize that you're sitting there and you're davening to Hashem, and that Hashem's listening to you. So you have to work on yourself not to think, and you work from below up. So therefore it's the level of Ani L'Dodi, my blood. It is only as is limited in correlation. The level how Hashem gives us back is only limited in correlation with the meager arousal from below, which is drawing it down, and therefore combines the confined. It's drawing down according to what a person's meager arousal from below, because only a human being, we're only created being, we can only do so much, and the combines of the world, how the world is that it says, but from below the level of ani, I, which is below the level of anochi, I is said in the exalted matter. How it is, however, has the advantage that it comes through his own service and permeates, and it permeates him internally. So we said before, explained before, there's two words in Hebrew that says that's I. One is ani and one is anochi. So when we're talking about ani, we're talking about a person that how he is below in this physical world that has to work, and he has these issues and have to work on himself, and therefore he arouses and he prays to Hashem according to his level, that Hashem should help him, and Hashem helps him accordingly. Anochi, however, is the level, a higher level. It says when Hashem gave the Torah, and then the Ten Commandments, it says Anochi, which means talking about the essence of God himself. So the first level we're saying, we're talking about that I'm arousal from below. This is a lower level. And my beloved is for me, which is the second level, Dodi Li, is accomplished through the service of a Jew similar to this concept, in a manner of drawing down below from above, is accomplished through revealing one's soul, which is part of God himself, literally. In other words, you have to reveal, how do I bring God into this world? I show God how I'm mamish godly. And when I work with being godly, I bring more godliness, which through, although this does not upon the lowest realms that much as through the service below above. Before we said, when a person changes himself, so therefore, whatever he changes, however he becomes holy, whatever parts of his body becomes holy, refined, so therefore God is able he becomes part of him. But this level is you're not changing from below, you're accessing God from your whole holy level from above down. So therefore it says, which although this higher level, it doesn't permeate the lower realms that much, as through the service from below to above, since this comes from a revelation from above. However, it reaches a higher level of revelation of godliness, and my beloved is for me in comparison to the revelation of my beloved and the service that I'm for my beloved. So in other words, the Rebbe is saying here that there's one level how we work on ourselves to become a better person, and I realize I get up and I don't think about the right things, and I might not be nice to somebody, or I might have bad thoughts of somebody, so I have to work on myself to be a better person, to refine myself from below. And once I refine myself from below and I stop talking lashon hora and gossip, and I work on myself that I should only think good, so therefore I bring down godliness to me. But this is only a certain level, this is only relevant to what I worked on. The advantage is once I worked on it, I'm there. I worked on myself that I'm become a holy Jew, and I'm never going to do this, I'm never going to do that, so therefore I'm there. It's me. I did it. The negative thing is that I can only reach so high because it's me that's doing it. And Badodi, that's the level Anila Dodi. I'm for my beloved, but for my beloved is for me. This is a level how God reveals from above down, and similarly how we reveal in ourselves from above down. As we're talking about how you serve God from above down. So I was talking to a friend of mine today. I'd ask him, this is something that people usually we hear about the Hasidus, but I never had anybody explain how to do it. So I asked a friend of mine. He's a mamish amazing guy. He's like really one with the Abish, really one with the Rebbe. And he says, he thought for a minute, and he says, when you have real batachan, when you really believe that Hashem is with you, that's how you serve from above down, because everything you know God's with you and He's taking care of you. So actually reminds me of a story that there was about 10, 15 years ago. There was a young Persian boy who came from Manhattan or something, and he came to L.A. and wanted to see if he can make a life for himself over here. So I asked him, he's a really nice guy. I asked him, as I asked many people. Should ask more. I haven't done it so recently, but I asked him, have you ever had any spiritual experiences? And he looked at me and he said, yeah. He said, I was by the Yam HaMelech, the Dead Sea, and I looked up and I realized I was Jewish. So at first I thought, what's that mean? Then I realized Jewish, he's part of God. But that's all he told me. Several years later, about 9-10 years later, I saw him in L.A. coming through. I said, so what happened there? He said, I wasn't afraid anymore. In other words, he knew God was with him. And he operate from this level that God's with me and going to take care of me. That's operating from above below. We have to figure out how it works. But this is one explanation. So there's a level when you work from above below, that this level from above below, you reach higher levels because it's not dependent on what you do. It's just dependent from God himself and from above, not changing yourself. So you get more, but it doesn't actually change yourself completely. And the complete perfection is when we have a unification of both aspects. How's it the best way? Is I'm for my beloved and my beloved is for me together. That the level of godliness, my beloved, which is higher than I, the existence of the person below, I'm to my beloved, that my beloved Hashem is higher, is revealed in an eternal fashion in I, in the me, in the confines of the lowest realms. And of this level of I, my beloved, it comes down. Well, let me see what he says here. Look at the Hebrew. This goes in, and the complete perfection is that when we have the unification of both aspects. Ani ladodi, I'm for my beloved, which is the browser from below up, and my beloved is for me, is when Hashem is just shining down from above down to us together. When we have both of these levels, when we're working from below up and from above down, when we're looking for how we have divinely from Hashem, have a divine soul, and we're working from that level, and at the same time we're working from our animal soul and to change what's below. We have together, we have both of these. He says that there I'm for my beloved is from below up, and my beloved is for me, it's from above down, together. That the level of godliness of my beloved, which is higher than I, that this level that talking about Hashem that's higher than me, and the existence of person below, is revealed in an eternal faction in I, in the confines of the lowest realms, until they become literally one thing. So this, I'm revealed God me in my until I become one thing, with no division between them. That through the revelations, and how do you do this? How do you become one thing? That the level from above down and above, that the God is revealing from above down, and that you're working from below up. You come to a level that the one is one thing. There's no division. What's this? That through the revelations of the essence of Hashem, which transcends the aspects of below and above and below, it is revealed specifically in and through the I, the physical being of this world. So the Rebbe is saying an amazing thing. So how do we reveal God's essence? That mamish, what in essence? God himself. Everything's God. How is this revealed? That when this is revealed, that we bring this level of God, and when God reveals his essence to us, so therefore everything is included. Because in the essence, everything's included. So he says, Dafka, only how does God reveal his essence to us is only when we're at the lowest level, only when we're physically in this physical world. We're the only ones who can reveal God's essence. As is spoken of, this is an amazing thing, that God's essence is what reveals himself to us, and this is what we see in our generation, that God's essence is revealing to the Jews throughout the world, and the Jews and also the non-Jews are all starting to do tshuva, because God is revealing his essence. And I've spoken above that the complete revelation of my beloved is for me, the revelation of the part of God from up literally the highest level, including the revelation, how high does this go? From the true existence, his essence, blessed be, is accomplished, the Abish is the atmos of the God himself, is accomplished and revealed specifically through and in the I am for my beloved, the lower level, like we said, from below up, the service of the created existence, the physical existence of the world of Asiya, which a person on his own in the beginning of the service goes in order from service from below up to above. So in other words, he says, so how to reveal the essence of God? You could think you would be like the Malachim, that they're praising God, they're going to reveal the essence. Or that from your divine soul, which is part of God, that's going to be... No, the Rebbe says no. The essence of God is only revealed from us being born, and we work from one level to another. We work on ourselves, and we do what we're supposed to do in this physical world. This is how you reveal the essence. It starts from the service from below. That's what it says. It is accomplished and revealed specifically through and in that I am for my beloved. That this service, that this is the service of the created existence, the physical existence of the world of Asiya, in which a person on his own in the beginning of the service goes in an order from below to up, preceding the spiritual world of Asiya to Yetzirah to Bria Batzilos. Rebbe's talking about a different. There's different in Chassidus, and the Kabbalah talks. There are different spiritual worlds, and that each world. And when it talks about a world, it doesn't mean like a world like we see it. A world means it's depending on the lower worlds is more covered over with godliness, more physical. The higher worlds are more spiritual. So we're going from the lower world to the higher world. However, afterwards, through the service of I'm for my beloved, bringing afterwards is however afterwards through the service that first you do from below up, then from I'm from my beloved, Anila Dodi, bring hold on. However, afterwards for the service of I'm for my beloved, Anila Dodi, from below up, bringing afterwards the service of my beloved is for me. So first you do from below up, and then after that you go from the higher level, from the highest level, you one with God, Atzilus, Bri, Yetzirah. And there's a correlation of godliness which transcends the creation, even the eye. So we reach such a level that beyond even the eye, to the extent that it becomes to the anai. We're talking about the lower eye. It becomes my beloved li to me. That whenever it says li, it does not bulge forever. It's forever. And that li is for me is a reference to the I, the created being, now comprises the true and eternal existence, which transcends the confines of time and place of creation, which on their own are bound to changes. This is like, the Rebbe saying, like, basically he's going over and he's repeating this whole idea that we should understand that there's a level of ani, I, the lower level of ani, that through me I serve Hashem, and that through I change myself. And through there you reach a level where Hashem, a higher level. What's the higher level? That Hashem, Li, it says, Vadodi Li. What's Vadodi Li? And if you look at the pasuk, and Hashem is to me. So to me in Hebrew, they explain this is something that's forever. So that for working from below up, Hashem then from above down looks at us and gives us everything. He gives us His essence, everything. So that's Dafka for working from below up is when you reach this higher level. Well, now number 9. So man, we understand why it's so important for us and why we're so lucky in our generation, because we're the lowest generation in certain ways. The Dafka through us, we reach the essence. And you see this, because you see, especially by the Bali Chuvas, that most of the Bali Chuvas I know, they're just here because God picked them up and brought them here. It's from God's essence. That's how we wanted. That's how we serve God, through our essence. That's who and what we are. Essence means that's what you are. The fundamental point that this also understands why we're zocha to so many revelations, because we're in such a special level. Number 9, at page 77. A fundamental point that must be in the soul searching of the month of Elul is hence understood that the righteous accounting of the service, therefore the days of the year must be in 3 aspects. That the righteous accounting of service, that throughout the days of the year must be these 3 aspects of service. So that we're serving God, we have 3 aspects. How what you did his service is I am for my beloved, in a manner from below to above. How much he and his own initiative and effort did he put into his service. And in general, accounting regarding the service of refining the body and his portion in the world. How much did I work on myself? How much did I tell myself I shouldn't do these negative things? How much did I tell myself I should concentrate when I'm davening? All of these things are refining from below. How much when I'm getting upset with somebody, I should realize that it's not their fault and they're just wonderful people. And I shouldn't get upset. They just have issues, and I have issues, and everybody has issues. And it's just their situation, but they're really beautiful people. All of these things we have worked for ourselves from below up. 2, number additionally, likewise, a Jew must not be satisfied only with a soul searching regarding his service from easy to hard. Rather, he must also make an accounting regarding of how well he did do the service from my beloved is by me in the manner from above below, in a complete Shabbostic service, which every Jew can and must request of himself, being that he is a soul which Hashem himself, the King of Kings, lives and endures, and gave him and gives him every morning. So in the second level we're talking about is how we're holy Jews, how we're part of God. And when you realize you're a holy Jew, And then you work as a holy Jew that here I'm part of God. Here I can do whatever I want. I'm godly. And I'm going to be able to go over and reveal everything and make everything beautiful and one because I'm part of God. So how much did you do? How much in your service of the year did you think about how your mom is part one Hashem, like we're saying here, and that Hashem gives, it says over here, that in which every Jew can and must request of himself, being, why can we? How can we do such a level? That he has a soul, which Hashem himself, the King who lives and endures, God did this, God gave this. This is like we talked about this in Modani, gave him and gives him every morning. So every morning we're given this level of godliness that Hashem gives his soul into us. Shechazar to be nishmasi, that Hashem gives us soul. So this is the second level. We got to realize we're holy Jews and part of God. We're here just special. And so we have to realize in Shabbos Eikev that we have to do things in a special, wonderful way, with love and joy and happiness. And 3, in addition, he must also have the unification of both aspects together. So we have to do both, from below up and from above down. Even when he's at a perfection of service, it must be connected with "and my beloved is and my beloved is for me." Namely, that when the person I, as he's found a soul and a body below in this physical world, and on the contrary, specifically through the verse "I'm for my beloved," the phenomenon beloved to me is revealed as explained above. So the Rebbe is saying here, the third level is we have to put both of them together. We have to put the level of how I'm a Shabbos Yid, of how I'm a holy Jew, and at the same time that I'm a Jew in this world and I have my own issues. So we have to work and put these two together, as explained above. The dafka, through me changing myself from below, I'm able to receive this higher level of godliness. That's where it's revealed. Likewise, and through a Jew making the righteous accounting and regarding of his own service of the miniature world, namely the person. So every person is a little world. He makes also an accounting of his portion of the world, not only what I did myself, but how I affected the world, if it is as it ought to be, including that he has the ability to make an accounting for the whole world. So not only do I make an accounting of who I come and what I come in the world, but I also make an accounting for the world. It said, let us come and account the accounting of the world. This pasuk, it says in the Rambam rules that through the fulfillment of one commandment, a Jew has the power to tip the scale of judgment for himself and the whole entire world to be meritorious and cause him and them salvation and deliverance. So in other words, you have to realize in this, you have to make an accounting of how I'm affecting the whole world. So how do you feel this? What's the Rebbe, an amazing thing. So how's the Rebbe explain this? He brings the Rambam. And the Rambam says that the whole world is tottering, is equal. It's like this. And we just need one little thing, one little movement. And this one little movement will bring the Geulah Shlema, will bring the complete redemption. And this, a person has to look at himself and say, this is the world. And I have the ability to change everything by doing my one little thing, by serving God, by doing my one extra mitzvah. So this is what he says. So you have to make a cheshbon. That's what it means. You make an accounting of how you affect the whole world. That your effect in the world is being Geulah Shlema. That's what the Rebbe say. That you can affect the world to being the complete redemption. Now we're on number 10. And how much time we have? And now we're on number 10, page 79. And according to this, we will understand the connection of the above with the Parsha of Shabbos and the blessing of the month of Elul and the Parshas Eikev. So this Shabbos that remember we're talking about is Shabbos and we bless the month of Elul, and it's also Parshas Eikev. The word Eikev at the beginning of our Parsha has a number of definitions. So the word Eikev, which is the name of this chapter of the Torah that we read the week when the Rebbe said this, is many definitions. Among the definitions that are from one extreme to the other, they're totally opposite. Rashi explains Eikev means heel, which simply means a command which a person treads on his heels. In other words, some things like you make brachos, like I make a bracha for food, like I made a bracha on this. Did I think about the bracha, or did I just made a bracha quick? Or there are many different things we do on a regular basis that we just do it. It's like nothing, or we don't think it's that important. Other commentaries explain that the simple, that's kind of a negative thing. There's negative things, these little, that God's holy mitzvahs, that we trample on them because we think they're just simple. They're common. Other commentaries explain the simple meaning of the scriptures, explain that Eikev means the culmination and the end. In the holy tongue, the beginning of everything is called in term of Rosh, the head, and similarly, the culmination of everything is called Eikev, the heel. That since the language uses analogies of a person that we talk about, that we have that the head and the head is beginning, and the heel is the culmination of it. So likewise, the common use of Eikev, meaning that the word at the end, it's a reward at the end, what we get after doing a thing. This means that, and it should be Eikev as a result of your heeding. The Torah said, we read in the Torah portion, this is from the Chumash, it says, and Eikev, and as a result of your heeding, of you listening to the laws, means that the reward we will receive at the culmination, at the end of the service, the completeness of service. So that means that all the work we've done, now we're going to get paid back. We're going to get the complete redemption, which this befits the simple meaning of that Eikev, which means as a result of us doing all this wonderful thing for Hashem pays us back, as it shall be Eikev as a result of the phenomena that you shall heed these laws, and you will be precautious and do them. You will receive the reward that Hashem your God will keep His promise to you. So this is the second meaning. One means it means that things that you just step on, holy things. And the other means that it's a payment for all the good work. It says both explanations of the same verse, and furthermore, of the same word, it is understood that they have a connect and a link together. So it must be something special. Now we must understand, what is the connection of the two aforementioned explained? What is it? How would it come in a sentence? Seemingly, not only are there different explanations, rather they're truly opposite explanations. According to Rashi, he says, Eikev reads a low level of service, including the beginning of service, the simple commandments, regarding which a person needs to be precaution not to tread his hills, like simply davening with Kabbalah and simple words, just doing simple things. And remember, you're serving Hashem, and we're doing it in such a way. And on the simple commandments, however, according to the second explanation, it doesn't mean you're trampling on the simple command. You have to start from the low level, from simple and start that even the common things you have to do in a holy way and work yourself up. But the second explanation is Eikev denotes the reward that comes from the conclusions and the completion, the end and culmination of the service of your heeding and guarding and doing and corresponding to thought, speech, and action. So the second level is that we did everything. We did what was right. We served Hashem. We did Torah and mitzvahs. We lived in the Golos, and we kept Torah and mitzvahs, and we kept doing Hashem's will, and everything we're supposed to do. So therefore Hashem says, since you've listened to me, I'm going to pay you back. I'm going to give you the complete redemption. How can you compare the two? This question is also on Rashi's commentaries itself. Now Rashi is considered one of the main commentaries in the Torah, and especially in the 5 books of Moses, and it's something we learn daily. So Rashi himself, he says, he always comes to just explain a simple meaning. So if it's not necessary to explain, he doesn't have to. So Rashi himself, if we're going to see that earlier itself in the Torah, talks about Eikev, and he doesn't give any explanation, because it means that Avram would listen. It's a question, let's go inside. The question is also that on the Rashi commentary itself. It also says previously in the Torah, it says that Eikev that Avram heeded my voice. Eikev that Avram listened to me. And Rashi doesn't explain anything there, that and since it's self-understood that the meaning from Eikev means as a result or because. As a result of the fact that Avram listened to me, that he did my voice, he receives reward. Avram listened to me, so that I'm going to give him the Jewish people and everything forever and ever. And the most wonderful prize ever is that all the Jews will come from Avram, all the holy Jews. What forces Rashi in our parsha to remove the word Eikev from its simple meaning and explain Eikev in our sense, the simple commandments which a person treads on with his heel? So why is Rashi doing this? If Rashi didn't see anything, we would have like the first explanation. Since we've listened to God, so therefore we get the Gula Shlema, God will take care of us.
Why does Rashi take this word and say Eikev means something else here? The Rebbe's Machadesh, he's saying here that he's explaining this. He's explaining how this works. This is a new thing the Rebbe's telling us. We may say that the explanation of this is in accordance with the above explained, that the magnification of the culmination and the completion of the service Eikev, meaning that the end and the culmination, and meaning, what's this mean? That the culmination, completion of the service Eikev, meaning at the end of the culmination, and my beloved is for me, is accomplished specifically through the beginning of the service in the lowest realms, simple commandments, and I am for my beloved. Similarly to how this is regarding the general service of the month of Elul. This is similar to what we do at every month of Elul, that although it is the last month of the year, after all the service throughout the year, nevertheless, beginning is with the letter Aleph. So in other words, the last month of the year, the month should begin with Taf, the final letter. Why did it begin with Aleph? The acronym for Aleph, the beginning of Elul, since that through the beginning service, when we are merely at an Aleph, we reach the perfection of service. So therefore, from this lowest, so the Rebbe is pointing out, and it's interesting because I'm just thinking now, when I did Tshuva, I was like in Tucson, Arizona, and I had no clue what happened. I was involved with no macrobiotics, and it was a health food regime that's based on Zen, something in Japan or something. I never got into much philosophy, but it was very, very popular the late 60s and the early 70s. And I was involved in it. And I didn't even think about God. And all of a sudden, from above, God lit me up. I don't know what happened. I started to want to keep Shabbos. I didn't know what it was. I would take a book and read in the restroom, which you're not supposed to do, holy books. And I didn't know what happened. All of a sudden, I come across a person who was one of the leaders of the movement. He was a Jewish person, Meir Abasera. He became very famous, a very, very famous man later, helping many, many Jews. He became very religious. At that time, he just started becoming religious and religious at home. And for some reason, so I went to see him to talk about just my life and talk about macrobiotics. I wasn't intending talking about God or anything, and I mentioned this to him. So he told me, he said, go to the rabbi over there. Okay, so I went to the rabbi. There was a young Israel, maybe 4 or 5 religious families, I think, very small. And I went to the rabbi, and the rabbi started telling me what to do. I said, what am I supposed to do? He says, you keep kosher, how do I do that? Everything he told me what to do. And then from one level to another, so then I started to become a holy Jew. I had to start from the lowest of lowest levels, from nothing, and now Baruch Hashem, I think I'm much more of a holy Jew, helping people and doing a lot of good stuff. So I can see in my own life that it started from the lowest of lowest levels. And also we see this also today, that most of the Baal Tshuvas are coming from a level that they don't even know how to read Hebrew, most people. A lot of them. They start from the lowest level, and you see the Jews who progress, they're like so special. The Baal Tshuvas in such a level, unbelievable. They shine, and they do things with a sincerity, which is just beautiful and wonderful. And this is maybe the combination of both levels, of the level of the essence of Hashem and the level from below up. And what time is it now? It's 30. Sei gesund, everybody. Mitzvah Hashem. We're going to start on number 11, and hopefully we'll finish it soon. Bye.